You've mastered your schedule, optimized your output, and checked every box on your list. Yet at the end of the day, you feel less like a master of your life and more like a ghost in your own machine. Why does the modern art of planning feel so hollow? Today, we step away from efficiency to explore the samurai's ancient method for true direction. You'll learn why your plans are failing not because they aren't detailed enough, but because they lack the one thing a samurai never sacrificed: your spirit. Let's look at the quiet architecture of a life lived with purpose. Section 1. The productivity trap. Look at your calendar for this week. It is packed, isn't it? Every slot is filled with meetings, tasks, and responsibilities. You believe that if you just finish everything on time, you will finally reach peace. But have you ever noticed a strange pattern? The more you get done, the more you feel you are falling behind. This is the productivity trap. We are obsessed with doing more, but we have forgotten how to ask why. Do you truly need to finish all those tasks? Or are you just afraid of being seen as unproductive? In Western culture, we equate movement with value. We think that if we are not busy, we are not living. But is constant motion the same as real progress? I want to ask you, what is the one task on your list that you only do to impress someone else? Take a moment to think about that. When you strip away the pressure of others, how much of your daily work actually matters to your own heart? We have become experts at maintaining a machine, but we have lost touch with the person operating it. We treat our lives like projects to be finished, rather than a path to be walked. This obsession with speed creates a deep, lingering noise in our minds. It keeps us from ever sitting still. And when we cannot sit still, we cannot hear our own inner voice. This is where the chaos begins. It does not start with a failure to work. It starts with a failure to be. Section 2, the chronic disconnect. Do you ever wake up feeling tired even after a full night of rest? You go through your morning routine, you drink your coffee, and you head out the door. But there is a heavy weight in your chest that never seems to lift. It is not a physical weight. It is the feeling of being disconnected from your own life. You are fulfilling your obligations to your family, your company, and your friends. You are doing everything right, by every standard society sets. Yet you feel like a spectator, watching someone else live your days. This is what I call a chronic disconnect. It is the gap between who you are and who you feel forced to be. We spend our lives building walls of achievements to feel secure. We collect titles, possessions, and reputations, thinking they will define our worth. But these are just masks we wear to survive the social game. When you take off those masks at night, who is left standing in the room? Is it someone you actually enjoy spending time with? Many of us have become strangers to ourselves. We are so busy meeting the expectations of others that we have stopped checking in with our own needs. We ignore the quiet whispers of our intuition because they do not fit into our polished, professional narrative. This disconnect is the source of that low-level anxiety that haunts you in the middle of a meeting or during a quiet commute. You are not failing at life, you are just starving your true self. The pain you feel is not a weakness to be fixed with a pill or a vacation. It is a signal. It is your spirit trying to get your attention, asking you to stop running and start listening. If you continue to ignore this signal, the disconnect only grows deeper, turning your life into a series of hollow performances. It is time to stop and acknowledge the ghost in the machine. Section 3. The architecture of modernity. Have you ever wondered why we are so obsessed with optimization? We treat our lives like complex computer programs. We want to debug our habits, upgrade our productivity, and maximize our output. This mindset comes from the very architecture of our modern world. Everything around us is built on the belief that the world is a giant machine waiting to be calibrated. Schools, offices, and even our homes are designed to value speed and measurable results. We are taught that if we cannot count it, it does not exist. If you cannot track your progress in a spreadsheet, you feel like you are doing something wrong. But think about the most beautiful moments of your life. Can you measure the value of a sunset? Can you put a price on the connection you feel when you truly listen to someone you love? Of course not. Yet, we ignore these immeasurable things because they don't fit into our current architecture of success. We are living in a system that forces us to prioritize the predictable over the profound. We sacrifice the depth of our experiences just to ensure that the process stays smooth. We fear the unknown because it feels like an error in the system. But growth never happens inside a perfectly optimized process. Real, human growth is messy, slow, and unpredictable. By building our lives around this rigid architecture, we have traded our spontaneity for safety. We have become architects of a cage, and we call it progress. It is a cold, calculated way to exist. It strips away the texture of life, leaving us with nothing but numbers and deadlines. We need to realize that the machine we are serving was never designed to make us happy. It was only designed to make us run faster. Section 4, the mirage of the next step. We live in a state of constant future-oriented anxiety. How many times have you told yourself, once I finish this project, I will finally be happy? Or, once I get that promotion, I will finally be able to breathe? We are perpetually chasing a next step that never actually arrives. This is the mirage. You move toward it, thinking it holds the answer to your restlessness. But as soon as you get close, it shifts further away. You are effectively living in the not yet. You are never fully present because your mind is always scanning the horizon for the next move, the next achievement, or the next solution. This constant forward-looking pressure is exhausting. It forces you to treat your current reality as a mere waiting room, something to be endured until the real life begins. But what if the real life is happening right now? In the very moment you are trying to escape, when you are constantly focused on the next step, you lose the ability to see the path you are currently walking. You stop noticing the small, meaningful details that make a life worth living. You trade your current awareness for a future promise that has no guarantee. This is a game of diminishing returns. The more you focus on what comes next, the less power you have over what is happening right now. It is a subtle but destructive habit. It makes you feel like you are always behind, always catching up, and always striving for a destination that keeps moving. You are effectively exhausting your spirit on a ghost. Stop looking at the horizon for a second. Look at your feet. Where are you standing right now? Is your current step aligned with your true self? Or are you just running because you are afraid of stopping? Section 5. The way of Seika. Now let us turn to the samurai. How did they survive in a world of constant violent change? They did not rely on endless to-do lists or rigid modern projections. Instead, they practiced a method called Seika, which literally means quiet fire. Imagine a candle flame in a dark, still room. It does not flicker wildly even if the wind blows outside. It burns with a steady, intense, and focused light. This is the heart of samurai planning. It is not about managing every single detail of your future. It is about aligning your inner spirit with your outer actions. Before a mission, a samurai did not ask, "How can I be more efficient?" They asked, "Does this action honor my code and my purpose?" This is the core of Seika. It begins with the decision to be still, even when the world demands you move faster. By cultivating this inner stillness, you stop reacting to every small disturbance. You start choosing your path with intention. Think of it as an internal compass that only works when the needle is steady. In the chaos of a battlefield, a samurai knew that panic was a death sentence. Calmness was a tactical advantage. By applying this to your life, you create a space where your true priorities can finally emerge. You are not trying to control the world around you anymore. You are mastering the way you respond to it. This quiet fire does not exhaust you like the frantic pace of modern life. Instead, it fuels you. It provides a constant, reliable source of energy that comes from knowing exactly who you are and exactly what you are fighting for. Section 6, alignment over optimization. In our world, optimization is the ultimate goal. We want the fastest route, the highest yield, and the most efficient result. But here is the question I want you to consider if you optimize your life for speed. Are you still the one driving, or is the machine driving you? In many Eastern traditions, we value alignment over optimization. It is not about doing things faster. It is about doing the right things in the right way. Imagine an archer. If he focuses only on hitting the target as quickly as possible, his hands will shake and his aim will fail. But if he aligns his breath, his posture, and his mind, the arrow finds the target naturally. This is the difference between force and flow. When you are aligned, your actions do not feel like a struggle. They feel like a natural extension of who you are. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you made a decision based on your own values, rather than what was most efficient? Most of us are so used to chasing efficiency that we have forgotten how to listen to our own inner alignment. We treat our lives like a race. But what if life is not a race, but a craft? A craft requires patience, deep focus, and an honest connection to the materials. Your life is the material. When you prioritize alignment, you stop trying to squeeze your life into a box that doesn't fit. You start building your day around the things that truly matter to your spirit. This doesn't mean you become slow or lazy. It means you become deliberate. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't belong on your path. In a culture that worships speed, choosing alignment is an act of rebellion. It is how you reclaim your agency. So, are you optimizing for a system that doesn't care about you? Or are you aligning with the life you were meant to live? Section 7, the myth of more. We are conditioned to believe that more is always better. More money, more followers, more projects, more convenience. We live in a society that sells us the promise of abundance, but often delivers the reality of clutter. Every time you add a new goal to your list, you are not just adding a task, you are adding weight to your spirit. Think about your desk or your digital workspace right now. Is it a tool that serves you, or is it a graveyard of abandoned intentions? The myth of more keeps us perpetually hungry, yet never satisfied. It creates a false sense of security, making us believe that if we just accumulate enough, we will be safe. But the samurai knew the secret of less. They understood that simplicity is not the absence of things, but the presence of focus. When you cut away everything that does not serve your purpose, you are not losing anything. You are actually gaining power. Every distraction you remove is a victory for your clarity. If your life feels like a heavy backpack you are forced to carry, start taking things out. Do you really need to be in that group? Do you really need to pursue that secondary goal? Most of the things we struggle with are simply noise we invited into our lives. We are afraid to let go because we fear being empty. But emptiness is not the same as void. Emptiness is the space where your true direction can finally breathe. Stop chasing the illusion of more and start respecting the power of enough. When you choose to simplify, you are not becoming less, you are becoming essential. Section 8. The point of convergence. You might be thinking, this sounds poetic, but how does it fit into my corporate job or my daily stress? This is where the samurai's strategy and your modern reality meet. We both face the same enemy, the loss of agency. Whether you are on a battlefield or in a modern boardroom, the pressure to conform is overwhelming. The modern world demands you to be a reactive machine. The samurai tradition demands you to be a proactive human. These two worlds collide the moment you choose to pause. When you stop to ask, is this truly necessary? You are not being inefficient. You are performing a radical act of self-preservation. You are realizing that the rationality of the system is often irrational for the person living it. You see, the modern world wants you to keep running to maintain its own momentum. But you are not a cog in their machine. You are the architect of your own experience. This is the point of convergence. You can use the modern tools of planning, but use them with the samurai spirit of Seika. You can track your tasks, but do not let them track you. You can engage with the speed of the world, but keep your inner flame steady. It is not about quitting your life. It is about changing your relationship with it. When you realize that the system's demands and your own soul's needs are often in conflict, you gain the clarity to decide where you will bend and where you will stand firm. This is not just a philosophy, it is a survival skill for the modern age. Section 9. The strategic divide. We must understand the difference in how we approach our lives. The modern Western mindset is built on active construction. We believe that if we push hard enough, change enough variables, and build enough structures, we can force the world to bend to our will. This is a powerful, creative, and transformative force, but it comes with a high-priced constant friction. When you treat the world as something to be conquered, you end up fighting against reality itself. The samurai approach is different. It is built on active acceptance. This does not mean passive surrender or giving up. On the contrary, it is an extremely high-level strategy. It means you observe the currents of your life, accept the reality of the situation, and then align your movement with those currents. You are not trying to stop the river. You are learning to navigate it with skill. This is the strategic divide. One approach spends all its energy trying to fix the world, often leading to burnout. The other spends its energy mastering its own response, leading to a profound sense of inner stability. If you want to build something great, you need the drive of active construction. But if you want to survive the journey without losing yourself, you need the wisdom of active acceptance. You do not have to choose one over the other. You can learn to be the builder who knows when to stop and flow. That balance between the urge to create and the intelligence to accept is the mark of a truly mature life. It is the bridge between ambition and peace. Section 10, Living with Intent. We have talked about the traps of productivity, the weight of modern expectations, and the samurai's quiet fire. But what happens after you close this video? You will return to your emails, your responsibilities, and the noise of your daily grind. That is the reality. But you have the power to change how you move through that noise. You do not need to become a monk or leave your life behind to practice Seika. You simply need to become the guardian of your own attention. Starting today, find one moment of stillness each day. When the world demands more from you, ask yourself, does this serve my spirit or just the system? Practice the art of saying no to the trivial so you can say yes to what truly matters. Your plan is not a prison. It is a mirror. If your plan makes you feel small and rushed, change the plan. If your plan brings you back to your center, hold on to it with everything you have. You do not need to have the next 10 years figured out. You only need to know what you are doing with this breath, this hour, and this day. That is how you stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. Walk your path with honor. Walk it with presence. And above all, walk it with a clarity that no machine can ever replicate. Thank you for choosing to live with purpose.